Welcome everyone. Hope you all are having a wonderful Christmas this fine day. For those who are uninformed on Disventure Camp, I'll give a quick rundown. Disventure Camp is an indie animated series created by Odd Nations that takes inspiration from the reality show Survivor, starring campers from varying age ranges and cultural backgrounds, with one objective to outlast the other in multiple high-stake challenges for a chance at winning the grand prize of $1 million. In light of the 4 winners across DC's 4-season run, it's been quite the hot topic debate on who deserved their win the most, and today I'll be making a case for why Carnival of Chaos as Logan Bell is my favourite amongst the 4 here. But first we have to air out some ground rules. What is the requirement for a good winner? The winner needs to have a significant impact on the wider narrative throughout the season's length, whether through their gameplay, the way they impact other people around them, and their character evolution from start to finish. This will be tackled through a ranking of sorts as to why each of the 3 finalists prior just didn't click with me as much as Logan did. Now without further ado, let's start with the bottom tier.
Finally! After all the hard work these old bones put in, it was worth it.
Now put down those pitchforks, and at least hear me out on this. I understand why Miriam being so low is a shock for some given how she's unanimously the most loved winner and the least controversial. I liked Miriam's win in a vacuum, seeing her go from a bitter woman resentful at the world as a result, due to loss of her husband and son, to now opening her walls, comfortably showcasing her vulnerability to others, finding meaning in the found family that cultivated from her trauma, as her bond with Jake ended up being exactly what each other needed. Now I will say Miriam is crafty and arguably the most balanced player in the winner circle due to her ability to navigate the final 4 while being on the outs through her sabotage of Alec and playing on Ellie's sympathy. However, this is where Miriam's biggest problem becomes most apparent. She unfortunately is inconsequential to the wider narrative. Miriam's moves are very minimal across her run, largely due to her inactivity till the later half of the season. Ellie, Alec, and Fura stir up the drama, whereas Tom Jake has to deal with the fallout from the aftermath, which ends up making Miriam feel like the odd one out, which leads into her finale with Fura feeling lackluster compared to the others, beyond them being underestimated as the youngest and oldest. They rarely interact until the very end, and their dynamic doesn't go anything beyond. Fura is the big bad that took out my friends. Gotta be the hero of the story asterisk, which honestly comes off as pretty bland in my book. It doesn't help that in the final race Fura losing was more of a result of outside factors rather than anything Miriam herself did. All these reasons are ultimately why Miriam had to end up in last place.
You want to hold the grudge so badly. Fine, I'm James Costa. Famous, fabulous, fucking up.
James is often the second most popular choice as a winner. And before I get to my critiques, I'll start with the positives surrounding him. His character development is fairly noticeable, starting off as a snarky, egocentric media influencer who viewed the show as a platform to elevate his brand, as we see later get this recontextualized to the audience, that he sees this type of validation fulfilling as, for most of his life he felt invisible, with only his sister being his friend. As his relationship with Aiden grows, he becomes more sincere and considerate of those around him, coming full circle in the finale when he gives Rosa a sum of his prize money. He and Riya ironically served as fantastic foils in S2, due to their arcs going in opposite paths. Riya begins the competition as a free spirit and relatively empathetic, in contrast to James's arrogance and self-serving nature, only for them to have their roles reversed by the end, as James becomes more altruistic in stark contrast to Riya's down spiral in order to achieve the adoration she craved. With all that said, what's my issue with James that drops him at 3rd? Well, quite frankly, I feel like he's missing standout moments in the game. At the beginning, we see his impulsive moves like throwing Carol under the bus, but we see he is capable of some strategic prowess with him faking a convo to play on Aiden's frustrations to force a tie, kicking out Lake's closest ally at the time. But this is where it stops. Although he joins Riya and Rosa alongside Aiden in a majority alliance, he doesn't contribute much ideas. Riya and Aiden are the ones to jump on cornering Hunter's alliance. In Ally's elimination, he and Riya converse on the outcome since they are swing votes, but the narrative emphasizes this being more of Riya's decision. And social game-wise, well, the finale kinda just tells you everything you need to know on that front. In conclusion, despite having an intriguing character arc, his gameplay left much to be desired, making him a hit or miss winner in my opinion.
Yes! I knew it! Every step of the way! This show refused to make it easy, but I did it!
Some might question why Riya is higher than James and Miriam, but I feel like she worked harder than the two of them combined, maintaining such a cold game style throughout her run and left no crumbs behind, playing as the second in command of the villain's alliance. From taking out Ashley, the emotional link of the hero's alliance to targeting Tom the muscle of the opposing side, even sabotaging the boats in the TikTok challenge, making sure that odds aren't stacked against her. She even played into Ally's self-worth issues to guarantee an extra vote for herself, which came in handy taking out Aiden in Final 7. Then of course adding fuel to the fire regarding Ally and Jake's paranoia so they would be less united in the final stretch. Even in the finale, she kept Tom occupied with the tiger while damaging Ally's heel, so Jake would be left defenseless. All in all, a powerhouse of a strategic player during her All-Stars run. But if that was all to it, I wouldn't have put her that high. I find Riya's Pyrrhic victory really fascinating, circling back to how she began as a Bollywood actress who moved to the US, seeking bigger opportunities, struggling to fulfill her dream, with only minor roles as extras, only to get that exposure by following in the example that Carol made by taking what's yours no matter the cost. Riya's arc is an intriguing cautionary tale about the dark side of ambition. She sacrificed her relationships and morality for success, only to end up miserable despite winning, becoming a hollow shell of the girl she once was. With all the praise I give, why is she only second place? Well, quite frankly, despite her playing a dominant strategic game, her social stability was rather horrendous, which left her in a lot of compromising situations with no helpers willing to support her in the finale, and getting toy tools to prevent her from collecting more gems at a faster rate. While she made solid plays, if it wasn't for her majority alliance, she would have been a prime target given her reputation. Lastly, while I loved Riya's arc, I did wish we got to see more of her sympathetic moments, which would have helped improve it more. In conclusion, Riya played a killer game, but her inability to balance her ruthlessness with social finesse or emotional stability dropped her ranking.
Oh my god! I can't believe I won! Gold! Finally! Not that I could have done it alone, but I feel proud of myself for once. Go figure.
Now we are left with Logan as the best winner. Before I get into the intricacies of his character journey this season, it's important to establish why I think his gameplay is the best, mainly because of how his game started through his social game, which is often the backbone of competitions like this. Forming meaningful connections and managing perceptions creates a blind spot for others to dismiss you as an extra vote or a less visible threat from a gameplay standpoint, as the flow of the game isn't being tampered with, compared to a domineering strategist or cutthroat physical player. That said, I like that Logan over the course of his run learns to have each aspect of the game work in unison. He performs well in physical challenges and gathers immunity wins when the moment arises, without drawing attention by keeping his talents to a minimum. While by no means a perfect strategic master, his ability to adapt to the game and play double agent behind the scenes, highlighted through his decision to snipe down the two-power duo swing votes, Anastasia and Marissa alongside Amelie and Hanmah in the merge, through his alliance with Essa Jade.
His game has evolved to the perfect balance of physical and strategic.
In terms of narrative impact, Logan acts as a catalyst for growth in others across the competition more than any other winner here. Alessio, who struggles with self-doubt and lost passion for his art and music, being overly hard on himself, has his world altered through Logan's persistence in getting to know him. Pushing past Alessio's initial walls allowed him to appreciate the inner beauty found within his own works. Spencer, who started off as a calculated and guarded individual, began to be open about his own struggles with failure and in turn, provided Benji that advice through an anime reference no less, facing the world with a more hopeful perspective. Anna, a woman who was often objectified and looked down upon as weak by the men in her industry, finds solace in her friendly rivalry with Logan, who recognizes her strengths instead of diminishing it, and his whimsical nature gave her a chance to enjoy the smaller things in life that she couldn't when she was a child. With Hanmah, he was very much her knight in shining armor, providing the bartender a safe space amongst the stress of the game and helped her not lose sight of herself by the very end. Logan vs. Jade was such a unique spin on a finale, being the only one with a strong connection throughout the merge, rather than a last-minute one. Jade's stoicism paired against Logan's optimism in a classic brain versus brawn, forging a warm atmosphere of mutual respect as opposed to your traditional hero's triumph over a villain was refreshing. Jade and Logan had similar journeys, sharing the most noble intentions, but having to dirty their hands to ensure the prize is won. In contrast to past finales, I loved how this one ties into the aquatic theme they have as an Olympic swimmer and marine biologist. Logan's story encapsulates the theme of self-acceptance and discovery. He started off as a people pleaser who would put others first to his own detriment, exemplified in Ted and Linda's eliminations, where he was unable to discard Anastasia, who accepted him in such a short time. But upon coming to the reality of Richard's expulsion by the hands of his own ally Spencer, Logan began to play the game in a manner that favors him, putting a game face. That winning means you have to do what's right for your game, even if you have to be put in crossfire. As a result, no use turning back now. But what is the driving force for Logan throughout the competition? He is under the belief he has to be the best, or else he is undeserving of that support and care. Failure is often seen as cracks and imperfections which eat him up inside, not being able to live up to the perfect son his mom says he is. When faced with the sea, he cracks and falters under his feelings of inadequacy, as his failure to face the currents reinforced how he will always be defined by his mistakes and won't live up to the expectations set by others, only to be faced with the reality that his imposter syndrome doesn't have to define him, that no one is perfect and your best self is more than enough. For swimmers, the unpredictable nature of the water symbolizes a form of liberation, and by reconnecting with the water, he was able to relinquish a part of himself in the process that was lost as a swimmer. In the end, Logan embraced himself wholeheartedly as the person he chooses to be, unshackled by the desire to be what others want him to be, winning the game as just Logan, even embracing his bisexuality as a part of who he is. He decided to use some of his earnings to help underprivileged kids, wanting them to experience their dreams after he achieved his own personal victory.
I got my goal. I want to give other kids the opportunity to do that.
Oh, you did tell me you were donating some of your winnings to a charity that helped underprivileged kids swim.
I think long term, that's what I'd like to do. Just be a coach, big brother, whatever people need. Pay it forward, you know?
Good thing you got Richard to get coaching advice from.